Non-British people of Reddit, what do you find odd about Britain? Recently moved to England from the US, San Diego, and have been here for about a year and a half. Some weird ones: alright mate, yay dude, does it look like something's wrong? Fanny pack is not the term here. Frigid does not mean cold. My English wife still laughs at that one. I think you'll find the term is bumbag, which is arguably more hilarious. I think it's odd that your entire country is roughly the same size as the US state I live in, yet whenever I see pics of England there's all this open space, hills and country roads and wee villages that look lost in time, and you're still a major world power. A 50th of the size with a 1/6 of the people like a giant sardine can. And when you consider the Highlands is one of the most sparsely populated areas in Europe, as well as all the national parks that basically just have small medium villages like the Peak and Lake districts, it's a wonder we all fit in an effective space the size of the state of Georgia. Turns out 36.4% or so of the UK's area is entirely national parks. Just did 2 weeks in the UK. To me, the things that seemed the oddest were actually improvements over Canadian culture. Kids and dogs can go to pubs, cashiers at grocery stores get to sit down, roundabouts everywhere. I still can believe we make cashiers stand all day in the US. It's crazy. Wait, really? The tribalism in the England alone, never mind the whole UK. Liverpool to Manchester is a 45-minute drive from each other and they have completely different accents and cultures. Over in Yorkshire it's again completely different. London is a different world, the Midlands is another whole thing. And they all appear to hate each other. As an American it's amazing to study. A lot of the hatred and rivalry isn't real hatred. Liverpool and Manchester have a long history of rivalry, which now is mainly based in sport. Then, there is the north/south divide. Southern fairies and northern monkeys. Also the Midlands don't exist. And I live in the Midlands. Edit, forgot the word monkeys. You exist as northerners to the southerners and southerners to the northerners. The popularity of ketamine. There was a ket shortage in 2015, IIRC, and it was a huge national issue. People were losing their minds about it. Edit, spelling. The way you say that makes it sound like the government were intervening. I know a horse girl and she was saying that it used to be really easy to get ket if you had horses until they cracked down. Presumably because unscrupulous vets and stable staff were selling it on for human consumption. No air conditioning is pretty weird for an American. Trains that work. Massive prices in central London. Edit, wow, you people are salty about your trains. And yeah, I know it's not hot, but it is incredibly humid. Coming from California it felt like living under the ocean. All Europeans are of the opinion that everybody else's trains work better than their own. I'm British, but some of my American friends don't understand why my washing machine is in my kitchen. Or how I drink tea that isn't iced, admittedly that one works in reverse as well. Brit here. I moved to the Netherlands last year and was appalled to find my washing machine is now upstairs next to the bathroom. A year on, I can't believe I lived so long with the washing machine in the kitchen like some kind of savage. When Brits say you wanna go for a drink. American translation, literally one drink, British meaning, 10 pints, kebab and a souvenir traffic cone. In Britain a couple always means 2. Unless you're going out for a couple, in which case it's possible you will not see that person again for a few days. Roadmen. We're just as confused about them as you are. Especially private schooled roadmen like bruv. Your primary school cost more than my car per term, you aren't a roadman. Henry the Hoover. I lived in the UK for a few months and every vacuum I saw grinned at me with that weird face. A true national treasure. We should put him on the new £50 note. And on the reverse side is the person walking Harry saying damn it Henry. When he snags something in passing. Why everyone over there thinks I have an Uncle Bob. Wait until you hear about your Aunt Fanny. Spaniard here, why do you keep jumping from our balconies? Sun does weird things to our heads. Got to beat the Germans to the Sun Loungers. Edit, thanks for the first gold and the silver's kind strangers. I never quite realized it till I went there, but tea is the cure-all / end-all for any situation. You didn't get into the college you want? Here, have some tea. You're a little groggy? Have some tea. Your arm's been lobbed off. Let's get you some tea. Why? Edit, collage to college. I'm pretty bad at spelling, don't worry about it. It's been in the culture for so long it's sort of become a comfort drink. I know people who even need a cuppa before going to sleep. It's synonymous community. Going for an ease up during some event. Hung over with your mates? Brew. Somebody died? Well, let's have a brew and reminisce some good times. It's incredible if you ask me. The constant battle for who can self-deprecate the most. I would win this battle, but I'm a bit shit at self-deprecation. Not as bad as me. I'm fucking awful. Saying sorry for things you shouldn't be sorry for? Egg. Me, stands in Tesco looking at frozen food. Person next to me also looking at frozen food, oh sorry. We apologize to atone for sins we may or may not have committed, like standing too close to someone, or looking at the same item. Someone walks into me, oh sorry. I love the difference between American and British programming, especially Kitchen Nightmares. British version, oh, the lobster riff-off, yeah? You can't serve it. You'll get someone sick. American version, it's spoiled, you donkey. You'll kill someone. Shut it down. Shut it all down. Fuck me. Cue dramatic music, 3 jump cuts to shocked expressions, and a commercial. A cracked writer described American reality TV as it's as if we've entered into some bizarre S&M relationship with Great Britain because of all the shows like Kitchen Nightmares with a Brit screaming at people. Which is funny because Americans love the Great British Bake Off, baking show to yawl, because of how pure and positive it is. When British people want to be extra mean to you, they just act super polite. Thanks for that, very helpful. Replying brilliant after every comment. Makes me wonder if they are being sarcastic or have set a really low bar of what brilliant is. Depends on the context, but usually it's not sarcasm. We're a bit backwards with how we use certain words, to be honest. Brilliant can pretty much be as low as an acknowledgement, whereas this restaurant is alright can mean this is an excellent restaurant. Right? That's a good example of direct translation being difficult. This restaurant is alright can mean anything from I'll admit you made a decent choice, but I still would have preferred the Italian down the road to Jesus Christ this place is fancy, depending on how you say it. Another reason, maybe, why people get into so many arguments on the internet. That the news are not announcing the end of the world every 2 weeks. I'm from Norway and I've lived in London for 3 years. I lost my voice last year, it was gone for a week, and it struck me how much you talk to strangers here out of politeness. People must have thought I was so rude for not saying sorry whenever I walked too close to another customer in a grocery shop that week. I've picked up the habit of saying sorry to everything. I once said sorry to a chair. Edit, customer not costumer. The amount of culinary shows on TV. Food is nice. The astonishing number of Indian restaurants all across the United Kingdom. Indian to the Brit is what Mexican is to the American. This is the best explanation I've ever heard about the relation BW Indian and British food. From the US. I have never heard so many ways to insult someone. Bell end, knobhead, nonce, pedo, plampartesp, edit, plant plot, mardy cunt, slag, ya donut. Also an extensive list. I've heard of things you'd rather do than what's been suggested. I'd rather shit in me hands and clap. I'd rather circumcise myself with a butter knife. I'd rather watch my mum give birth. I'd rather have half an inch in me mum and my dad have half an inch in me. Then decide to go forwards or backwards. I'd rather shit in a bag and wrap it round me face and suffocate myself. I'd rather guide my granddad into my nan. Not necessarily odd, but I love how there are charity shops everywhere. Gotta love getting a bargain on books. Place names. I don't mean Coxwallop or whatever crude rural towns they have, I mean shit like Stratford-upon-Avon. When I go to the Dictionary of English place names, the very first thing that pops out to me is called Abbot Skerswell. Also among the A's is Ab Kettleby, Angmering, Three Arlingtons, Arihian Abin and Askham in Furness. Going all the way to the end of the list, we see that the final name starting with Y is #Stumelinath. Welsh place names are basically localized directions to places. A few shorthand rules, and you can work out from the landscape where you need to be. Aber means mouth of, so Aberystwyth means mouth of the river Ystwyth. Caer means castle. So Carvier then means Merlin's castle. Lan means church, so Lanfair means Church of Mary. Lewin means a copse. Arth can mean bear, or short for the name street. Ystime means bend or movement. Ystymlath, the bend of the copse by the bear. Arthur's copse by the bend. Torner evil, the sound of the anvil. Tun, sound, ear the evil, anvil. Additionally from u/viscounts/pen, top of, peak of pwll, pool/pit y, the coombe, valley tray, Trev. I know this is likely to get buried, but I love looking at where old Welsh places are in the landscape and seeing how the name came about. From u/quantum warrior/Carnarvon is my favorite one of these cause it has a few layers. Caer in Arfon, castle in Arfon. Then Arfon is the name of the ancient county it sits in and means land, opposite Mon being the Welsh name for the island of Anglesey. Mon is also such an old name, the Romans knew it as Mona, that its own etymology is pretty much a mystery with a few educated guesses. So castle in the land opposite Monday. Edit, thank you kind stranger for my first Reddit gold. Edit, adding more info from people in the comments and spelling of cops from u/body swindler/. Greater than Caer means castle. So Carvier then means Merlin's castle. Rest of the fucking owl shit right there mate. Their drinking culture. You mean our binge drinking on weekends or things like a cheeky little pint with lunch? I think having a pint at lunch is what they're talking about. Went to London for the first time a couple years ago. Had several people say hello with "Hey, you alright?" Which made really self-conscious until I realized it was like "Hey, how are you?" Alright mate, this one gets me. Every fucking time. My American ass answers now with, "I'm great, how are you?" Still haven't figured out how to answer, saying alright as a greeting. At first I didn't know how to react. I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine mate. Got a problem?" I tend to say "Yorrit mate," as a general greeting. Never thought of it as odd until now, lol. "You're right" will suffice. As a Swede you would always listen and answer honor questions, out of politeness, such as, "Hello, how are you?" "Hello, I'm fine, thank you for asking," and "How are you?" "Fine as well." "Well, see you later." As a Brit you would, out of politeness, always ask how that person are but without any need to listen to the answer and get the question back and answer too. That was shocking to me first. Yeah, still couldn't give a fuck how they are though. As an American, the number of security cameras in public places, particularly in London. Yet magically we seem to cover them in butter before a crime goes down. As an American, I can confirm that we have no problems covering things in butter.